we're showing off an updated Giraffa deck profile by Ross, my friend. Last year, he actually had a Giraffa deck profile on the channel, and so he actually updated with the new Cradle support. So take it off, Ross.
Yeah, so I'm coming with the same trigger lineup, but with the newer triggers. So I'm doing 12 crits. 4 of the first premium collection that runs with the soul to draw a card. 4 of the Sentinel crit that's coming out soon. 4 of the Stride Fighter crit. I'm doing 2 of the heal triggers that when you G-Guard, you could bind itself and a heal trigger to countercharge or soul charge. And 2 regular V-era heal triggers for the 20k shield and power. The reason why I'm doing 12 crit is to be more aggro than with the Dark Phase deck profile I did not too long ago. Because the way I'm trying to make it is to be a deck thinning build with the Cradle support as well. So that way the crits are still in deck and lethal when you start hitting mid to late game. I don't see myself ever going to draw triggered PGs just because the aggro is needed for my playstyle with Giraffa.
How do you like the crit Sentinel so far?
I am a very big fan of them. It's definitely a 1-card drop versus 2 cards to do a draw trigger PG. Because obviously my con is a protect clan, so I can grab perfect guards for free just for riding.
Oh yeah, that's true. You just ride and get a protect Sentinel. That makes sense too. And then you got strides that help you draw too as well, right?
Yes. All the draws off of the overwhelm. Other than that, that's really just basic. Just 12 crits still from last time, just better triggers and more aggro with all the new stuff coming out. So for my grade 1 lineup, I'm doing 2 Pupa Mutant Giraffa, 2 Elite Mutant Cradle, 3 Phantom Blacks, and 4... Oh, what's this girl's name?
Is it Breeze?
Cleared Breeze. 4 Cleared Breeze. Cradle is to be the searcher of the deck once you get into the Gridora Shrine and you're stunned the Vanguard. This will always proc because he says arrest a unit at the beginning of your opponent's ride phase. This is to not be too cloggy. Giraffa is not to be too cloggy with the deck. Phantom Black is to keep the aggro going for a +6, so it's a 14k booster with no grade 1s or greater, and it pushes harder on the Gridora Stride turns. So that way they're locked into 0s only because they can't G-Guard. She's good because I could discard my grade 3s to draw, marker any unit I want, or just filter a card out of my hand to dig deeper into the deck for pieces that I need.
How are you liking her at 4 copies?
I'm liking her a lot at 4. I may drop her down to 3 and do Phantom Black to 4.
Oh, really?
Just for the more aggro of the deck. I don't know yet. I still need a little bit more testing before I make that final decision because she's just really, really strong with the marker generator and all that. For my grade 2s, I'm doing 2 Elite Mutant Giraffa. Yeah, that's 4. 4 A-Rank Mutant Guard Giraffa, if I'm pronouncing that right. 2 Bloody Hercules. And I'm running 3 Despoiling Mutant Sticky Bolas. So again, the situation comes down to I'm running 2 of the Elite Mutant Giraffa. The reason why I'm running 2 of him and 2 of the
grade 1.
The grade 1 Giraffa is because I don't want them to be too dead of a card to be drawing into, but I don't want them at 1 because with Guard Giraffa, if I open up with him in my opening hand, I can discard him. If I have the starting Giraffa as Vanguard, I can Superior Ride the grade 1, then get the immediate search for this. So if I'm running 1 of each of the grade 1 and 2 of the Chain Ride, and I draw into it, it's just a dead effect. So it's to guarantee the effect to go off a little bit easier. So he's good for the Superior Ride to get to a grade 2. That's going to be a 10k body on your turn. Bloody Hercules is nice because when he hits anything, you get to countercharge 1 and give another unit 6k. So if Desperate Time calls for Desperate Measures, I can kill a unit with a Cradle marker because they're only 0 power. So if I call Bloody Hercules, I can Soul Blast 1, give it 6k, so he's 15, and I can attack the unit that's cradled, which is going to be a 20k block. And your opponent has to choose then and now, waste 20k for a cradle marker, or let me profit more by getting a counter charge back, giving another unit 6k, and getting the search off of that cradle. And then Bolas is just good overall because she could on place, counterblast 1, check top 6 for 2 dark face with different names. Then when she declares an attack anywhere, Soul Blast 1, she gets 6k for every cradle marker on the board. And if she's over 20k, she gets to let you draw a card. I came across this recently, though, to make her proc off easier without the cradle markers. I boost her with Phantom Black. Because Phantom Black, when you do a skill, it's 14, so it's 23, which will immediately proc her effect, along with no grade 1s or greater from hand, so your opponent has to drop zeros just to stop a 23k attacker.
Oh, and you break even.
I break even on it. So then, discard 1, 6k, 23k column, no grade 1s or greater, Soul Blast 1 to draw 1. So I'm always breaking even, so that's an easier way to filter the deck out as well. Other than that, I do like my grade 2 lineup a little bit. I don't see myself changing it as of right now. Depending on what Megahani gets in the future, the deck will definitely change.
2 things I want to say too is that because you mentioned with the cradle marker, since they're 0, it actually makes on-hit effects, like if you get on-hit rearguards, it makes them a lot easier to pull them off, just like you said. So I could definitely see that for the Bloody Hercules, that's what it's called?
Yes.
And then with your Giraffa, just like you said, it's part of the deck thinning. So as soon as you search for the grade 1, you ride, you search for the grade 2. So you literally immediately filter through 2 cards that are not triggers too.
Yes.
On top of that.
Yes, and then also it goes back to the whole, where is he? To the whole Cradle thing, because he still has Giraffa in the card name. I can search him out because when his attack hits a Vanguard, it's a Vanguard effect only. I can stun a rear guard, which will then, if he's on board, proc to start searching out all my Giraffa pieces earlier than anticipated.
You start that in the early game.
Yes.
Good. And it's 5k shield if you grab the grade 2 too.
Exactly. For my grade 3 lineup, I am running 3 A-Rank Mutant Sand Giraffa, 4 Intimidating Mutant Darkface, 2 Gunning Kaleo, and 2 Cyclomatooth. So I'm running 4 Dark Faces because Dark Face is one of my favorite G-era units. He's also good because he's on place Vanguard and Rearguard. Discard 1. Place a Cradle marker on an opponent's unit that doesn't have one. So he could be called out through Ghidorah's effect, and he could still proc it. Then when he swings, Counterblast 1, eat a unit with a Cradle marker, so you could instantly search your deck for a unit that you need, and he gains their power of the grade of the unit that he killed by 5k. I'm running Gunning Kaleo in the deck, just because if I go first and I see him, I can get the early triple drive and be a little bit more aggro with it. Cyclomatooth is really strong still for a Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1 on Vanguard or Rearguard. Gets 10k, mill the top card of your opponent's deck. If it's a grade 1 or greater, it goes critical, which can be extremely lethal because I'm running 12 crits. So 1 crit makes it critical 3 if you mill the correct card. Also, he's not a bad ride target because if you ride over him with anybody else, you make your opponent discard a card from their hand. And you get power by 5k for every grade of the card discarded. So it rips a card, again, out of their hand, which is very, very nice to get going, including into the striding turns. I'm running the Giraffa because, as explained earlier with Cradle, it's a Giraffa. I can search it out. Quick stride fodder, quick discard for Darkface or the grade 1 Breeze to proc the Cradle effects.
Oh yeah, that's help Breeze out too.
Right. And also, I did come across a little interaction with Giraffa and Darkface. Not going to happen a lot, but if I go first and I ride Giraffa and I call Darkface, put a marker on the board, if they let Giraffa hit, I can stun the unit with the Cradle marker. With Giraffe's effect, will force rest, stun, and stamp the effect of if this unit leaves Rearguard or Guardian Circle and goes to the drop zone, they must kill another rearguard. So it would be a 2-for-1, since you're going to swing with Darkface, kill the Cradle Marker unit, get a search, get power, and kill off 2 rearguards for the price of 1. That's not going to come up as much, but it's just a neat little combo that just exists in the deck. I like the lineup right now. The only thing I would probably change is maybe maxing out Cyclomatooth for more aggro. Mm-hmm. Not sure yet. Still need to work out the kinks of the deck. So far, I'm liking the 2-2 split. And that's really it for the grade 3s right now. Hopefully, future support will grant me more power. So for my G-Zone, I'm doing 1 7-star Relish Lady, 1 Grisefort, 2 Featherwall Deities, and 1 Air Elemental Ractome.
Yep.
They're not bad G-Guards. She's still good for if it's just going to be like a tiny poke to discard a card and draw a card. So you start the cycling engine still with it, with the rest of the deck going on. Still a good G-Guard when the requirements are met to be a 25k block. Grisefort is Grisefort. Oh, you're attacking with the Vanguard? I'm going to rest your whole back row. Have fun with that. And then Relish Lady is nice to put your opponent in a predicament. Because if they do not rest 2, you get to draw, soul charge, and counter charge. So your opponent has to think either neg extra attacks or a column to not let you plus or let you plus, which is just really, really strong. I don't see myself changing this lineup for a while. It is a very strong lineup that I've been running with my Mega Colony decks. For my strides, I run 1 Suppression Mutant Deity Tyrantus. I run 2. How do you say this card? I can't read this card because the gold letters there. 2 of the new Stride from the Premium Collection. I run 2 Poison Sickle Mutant Deity Overwhelm. 1 Paraspear. I run 4 Gridoras, because Gridora's super strong. If you run it anything less than 4, I will question. And this is just a fun tech. It is the Giraffa Stride from, I believe, the 2nd Fighters Collection. Yep. I only run it in there for a flip target because its artwork's too good to not be in the deck for Giraffa. It's fantastic. I love it. I will straight up say that right now. It's never going to do anything. So yeah, Overwhelm will let you get your pluses. It's good for a first stride if your opponent couldn't get up in grade and they just left the Vanguard to do the job, or they only have a Vanguard and 1 rearguard, so you get the drive and the crit and all that. I found very more useful success with Overwhelm in Giraffa so far than Gridora. Gridora is just too strong. Counterblast 1, stun the board. Opponent can't G-Guard. They can't Superior Call from anywhere except from their hand. On attack, Soul Blast 1, call a Great the other deck. Call out Darkface. Proc the Cradle Marker. Call out Cyclomatooth. You're going to get an extra 10k on that and potential crit and a mill. Suppression Mutant Deity Tyrantus is the GB8. So at Generation Break 8, all your units get 5k for every unit. Every rested unit your opponent controls, and they cannot intercept, and they cannot proc auto effects of their rear guards. I've been coming into situations where my opponent has been damage denying me a little bit more now recently. So instead of having a blank Gridora, blank Overwhelm, blank whatever this beautiful girl's name is, I can go into Paraspear, and if they have 3, and when he's placed, he force rests all units your opponents control. If he sees 3 or more units at rest, he gets 5k and he gets to draw 1. Not the best to have, but at least he's still giving some kind of a pressure by getting extra 5k and another card in your hand, which digs deeper to potentially draw you a combo piece like a Cyclomatooth, a Darkface, the grade 1 that discards a card to draw, so you can dig even deeper into the deck. I've had some very good results so far with the deck. I don't know what I would change with the G-Zone just yet. I still think she is a very strong card in the right situations. She might go down to 1, but I feel 2 is fine because if you swing with her first, at any point in the game, your opponent's going to flip more than likely 3 G guards. Then they can only G guard 1 more time for the rest of the game. And then if you go into it again, you're going to rip another 3 cards out of their G zone. And that's going to be potentially the rest of their G guards. Or if they don't have any more G guards to flip, it's just going to be a big front row power buff. And then because the 12 crit, I feel like she can be a lot more lethal if you can set her up right in the correct situation.
You can like flip that with another card like Erdora.
Yes.
And meet people within your own playing the one of, and then you just pop the second one.
Exactly.
And like, what?
Exactly. Like I've had games where I've gone to Overwhelm, and I would flip her, and my opponent would just like G guard once or twice in the turn for Overwhelm. Then I'd come around the corner with her, and they just sit there and go, uh-oh. Well, I only have 1 G guard left in my G zone. So I guess you're going to get 30k to the front row. Mm-hmm. I do feel like Overwhelm is a little bit stronger, like I said, in Giraffa because, or maybe anything, or with any of the marker generators, depending on how you build your deck. Because if your opponent isn't replacing the units that they call that are markered, and they just like swing with the Vanguard and 1 rearguard, well, the rest of their units are going to stay in stand, which will let you proc the crit and drive and punish them for not replacing their rearguards at the same time for not letting you plus. That's just what I've been experiencing so far, but that's my G zone. There's definitely more changes to come, but as of right now, I am satisfied with where the deck is at right now.
I think the other thing that I wanted to highlight in your games, when you use this stride, I realized that it wasn't an act, it was an auto, and you had the Bloody Hercules actually hit during the battle phase. They gave you the counter charge back because I damage denied you. And then this allowed it to actually use the skill where you didn't have anything to counter charge during the main phase for like Ghidorah or even Overwhelm. So yeah, that was something that actually kind of came up. Like,
yeah,
oh, wow,
and then you flipped 2 G guards in a regular stride, which gave you a 15k buff, which proc the bolus to go off a lot more easier.
That too. You get actual card back with bolus. You're right.
But no, other than that, that's the deck profile. Hope you all like it, and I'll potentially come out with a future deck profile of Giraffa down the line somewhere.
Thanks for watching, amigos. This is Ross and his new deck profile that he's updated with Giraffa. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a like, comment down below, share, and subscribe. See you, amigos. Bye.